So I had a friend come out for about 10 days to work with us. He finished up working on our website. And, he's the guy that built our accountingtax.com website. And we were talking about whether or not when people are super, super successful, if it's luck or if it's sort of a result of hard work or trying and intentionality and all these types of things. So, and he was saying that he thinks that, really, really successful people that you see, whether it's in business or in sort of celebrities or famous athletes, it has a lot to do with luck. And I asked him, I said, well, we've been fortunate, Amanda and I have been fortunate enough to be fairly successful in business. And so I said, do you think that our situation is a result of luck? And he said, no, I don't think it is. I think you guys obviously worked hard and everything like that. And I said, okay. And I was like, so assume, like, when you're looking at these people that are really successful, like, if you surveyed them, you couldn't really figure out, whether it was hard work or whether it was luck. Like, even if they gave responses like, we don't know if they're really being honest, how do you really measure that? Obviously, there were maybe some lucky components, but was it more luck or more hard work? And I said, so it's difficult to really know the answer. Like, you don't know for sure. You happen to have picked this idea that it's luck. But I said, but let's look at your life, dude. And let's say that you could have a belief in your head, which is that people become super successful in whatever way that is, whether that's successful in sports or making a lot of money or having a big business or whatever the case may be. And you have two choices that you can choose. You can choose to believe that being successful is a result of luck, right? And so that's sort of one option for you in your mind to believe, oh, these people are really successful because they got lucky, right? Or you can believe that these people are really successful because they made the decision to be successful and they put in the hard work to get there. And I said, which of those two beliefs, regardless of which one's true, right? Because it's really difficult to know which one's true. We'd have to do a lot of work. We can't get the information on it. So it doesn't really matter which one's actually true, right? But which one of those two is more likely to get you to be successful, is to get you to be able to be more successful in business or to be more successful in whatever you're sort of doing. And it becomes sort of obvious. And so I think a lot of times I used to be like this too, where I would think about, okay, well, is this really true, right? Is this true? Is this really the truth of the situation? And really, there's so many things where there isn't a clear-cut answer. I think when I was a younger guy, I used to always think that I knew the answer to things, and then I think there's some desire for young males to sort of always know the right answer. But, now that I've gotten at least a little bit older, I'm still relatively young, there's a lot of questions where the answer isn't immediately clear. And so whenever I have a question in front of me and the answer isn't immediately clear, instead of asking, which one's true, because you can't really know for sure which one's true, I tend to ask myself, okay, well, which of these series of beliefs would get me to be more successful? Right? Which one of these series of beliefs would get me to be more successful? So if I believe that being successful is a result of majority luck, especially being super successful is a result of majority luck, well, then it's sort of outside of my control. I don't have any, direct effect on these things because a lucky instance would have to come about to get me to that level of success. But I believe it's a result of, making the decision, right? So I decide that I'm going to have this level of success and then actually mapping out a plan and then doing the hard work, does that give me a better chance? I'm not saying that if you do that you're 100% going to be as successful as you want or as successful as you dream. But does that give you a better chance of having it than if you just believe it's a result of luck? And so that's obviously the case. And so whenever people, I'm always trying on different ideas. Like I used to be so rigid in my thinking, and I used to think I knew things, and then this is true and this is false, and well, I would be able to do this, but this, but now every time I analyze things, I'm just like, okay, well, what if I were to change my belief? Because I don't know for sure that this is true or that is true. If I were to just change my belief into something new, would that make me happier? Would that make me more successful? Would that give me more energy? Would that help take me to the next level? And so, if you look back, even some of the things I might have said 6 months ago or 9 months ago or a year ago or 18 months ago, I wouldn't even agree with today because, I've learned new things, I've come about new knowledge, I've had new mentors, I've experienced new things. And so I think especially in today's day and age, it's like, where am I going to be when I'm like 60 years old, and what kind of things will I believe at that point, and where will the world be? So I'm always trying on these new ideas. So whenever you think that there's some reason why you can't be successful, I had a guy yesterday who I talked to who was just so afraid to reach out to his friends that he knew. He knows a bunch of small business owners that he wants to work with and do taxes for, and he's so scared to reach out to them. And, he's like, oh, I can't reach out to them. They've already got an accountant, or I can't reach out to them. They're too big. I don't know what I would say. And he's got all these beliefs in his head, and he doesn't really know that those beliefs aren't real. that there are just thoughts that are sort of firing in the back of his sort of, it's almost like, I look at it like, let's say your spinal column connects to your brain, right? In that little point right there, he's just got all these thoughts rushing up his spine into his brain saying, no, 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 kind sir, don't do it, don't do it. But that's really, none of those are really real. And you can detach from those, look at them and say, yeah, those aren't really being that helpful. Let me just brush those to the side. And am I more likely to grow my business if I reach out to people that I have a close connection with, that have businesses and need these specific type of services? I mean, obviously. So whenever you're having any sort of rushing thoughts or any sort of thoughts, that you just ask yourself like, okay, is this something that I know for certain? Do I know this to be true? And if it's something where you don't know it to be true, maybe even if you've only got a high degree of certainty, like if something's 80%, that's not very high. I mean, if you look at the last election, the last presidential election, the winner of the election only had like a 20% chance of winning, maybe less. So it doesn't, if you only have 80%, that's not very high, right? And so if you don't have something that's 100% certain, then just think, what really would benefit me the most, and pick that.